everyone, welcome back to the Wee Lorda channel. I hope you're all doing fine. Today I'm going to be making two delicious seafood recipes. So the inspiration for this video comes from the seafood shacks which are dotted around the coast, and particularly on the west coast as well. We have a few up in the northeast too that I like to visit. So I hope you enjoy these recipes. I'm going to be making a delicious salmon salad, and I'm also going to be making a chunky Cullen Skink. The salmon salad I originally planned to make a trout salad, but I couldn't actually get trout locally. So it would work with salmon or trout. So whatever you have available, just use that. And I'm going to be making a chunky Cullen Skink. It's so delicious. As you probably know, I've talked about this before, but Cullen Skink is a family favourite of ours, and it's been a family favourite probably for generations back. My family originated from the coast, and they were all fishermen and stuff, so it would have been a popular recipe many generations ago as well. So this is very similar to how my dad makes it. My previous Cullen Skink recipe is a little bit thinner and not as chunky as this recipe, so I'll put a link below to that recipe if you want to try that one as well. But this is probably my favourite one. It's probably my favourite way of making it, just with a sort of chunkier texture. I tend to make the other one when I'm making it for the kids, just because they don't like it as chunky. Anyway, I hope you enjoy both of these recipes. Let's get started. So we're going to start off with our salmon and tattie salad. So we're going to be using these ingredients here. Now I have used salmon in the video, but I did originally plan to make a trout salad. But you could use either or, it really doesn't matter. They both will be equally as delicious. So we're going to put our salmon into our baking dish there, or if you're using trout, pop your trout in, and we're going to season it with salt and pepper. Now your trout is going to take less time in the oven than a piece of salmon, so just keep a close eye on it. You don't want to overcook it for this salad. You really don't want it like tough. So we're going to bake that in the oven at 160 for approximately 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Just keep a close eye, and you want to take it out just when it's just done. So as I said, you really don't want to overcook it. So we're just going to pop our salt, pepper, lemons, a wee extra squeeze of lemon there as well. I've used olive oil, but you can also use butter, and we're also going to sprinkle over some parsley that I had to hand as well. So you can just pop it in without the lemon and parsley if you want to. If you don't have those, that's okay. And we're just going to pop that in. So here is my salmon. This is actually like the next day, so it's completely cooled down. So I just left it to cool, and then I popped it in the fridge overnight, and we're just going to flake that off into a bowl soon. But first of all, we're going to pop our tatties into the pan to boil just while we're dealing with the salmon. So if you just chop up your tatties into roughly that kind of size, and we're then going, so I did use more tatties than that. I was just showing you the size that you needed, and then we're going to add some salt into the pan there as well. And we're just going to cook those until they are nice and soft. So you don't want them too mushy. You still want them to be holding their shape. So don't cook them for too long. So we're going to take all the lemons off, and you can leave the bits of parsley on, that's fine. And we're just going to check for bones and then just flake this onto the plate. If you want to serve it warm, you can do. We don't want the skin for this recipe. That bit actually went to my dogs. They were very pleased with me. And we're just going to take all of this off, and we're just going to flake it onto the plate. So we've got all of our salmon there, and we're just going to give it a wee bit of seasoning again. So a little bit extra salt and pepper. You might not need extra salt, just whatever you think. Just go by whatever it tastes like for you. And you can also add in a little bit of chili here as well if you want to. I didn't add the chili in because I was giving it to my wee one. So we're going to take our tatties off, drain those, and we're going to set those aside to cool a little bit. We're also going to boil our eggs as well while our tatties are cooling. So we're just going to pop all of our eggs into the pan. Boil them up for 5 minutes or so until they're well done. You could have them a little bit soft as well. They don't have to be completely well done. Started adding the carrot in here, but I decided to add the mayo in first. You can add as much or as little as you like. So I've added a good dolloping of mayo there, and we're just going to mix that through. And then I thought it would be easier to add the grated carrot in after all the tatties were mixed with the mayo. So and we're just going to add our carrots in there. So if you just grate all of your carrot into your tattie salad, again, you can add more carrots if you want to into here. I just thought it was really nice to add a little bit of sweetness into the tattie salad. And we're then going to make sure that is nice and seasoned as well with salt and pepper. Also adding a wee bit of chopped red onion in there. Again, you can add a little bit more, but I didn't want to add too much because I was feeding it to the little one, so I just added a wee bit in there. I probably, if it was just me that was having it, I would have added in a little bit more red onion. And then we added in some spring onions as well. So those are really nice in this tattie salad. And a little bit of parsley. You could also use coriander if you don't have parsley, or whatever other herbs you have available in your garden if you've got herbs growing outside. We're just going to give that a good stir through. So we're going to pop a wee bit of spinach or salad on the side here. And we're going to pop our tattie salad on the other side. And this is, I got this idea kind of from like how they would serve it up in a takeaway box from the seafood shack. So if you can kind of imagine this inside a takeaway box, it would kind of be served quite similar to this if they were serving something like this. So we're just going to slice our boiled eggs up. So I cooled them a little, peeled them, and I'm slicing them up. And again, it doesn't matter if they're not completely well done in the middle. A little bit of a runny egg yolk would be fine, just however you like them. So we're going to put slices of those onto our spinach there, and a little bit of salt and pepper if you want to as well. I'm kind of like juggling all the egg slices around here to make them all fit. And then we're going to add in our cold salmon. So as you can imagine, the cold trout would work really nice in here. And the salmon was really, really delicious cold, but you can serve it warm if you want to. I wouldn't really serve it too hot, not with the other cold ingredients. But it's a really nice light lunch. It's kind of like a nice picnic food. You could put it into your own takeaway boxes. Yeah, it's lovely. So we're just going to season all that with salt and pepper, or just a little bit of pepper actually added, because everything was pretty well salted anyway. But just make sure you taste everything and make sure you've got enough seasonings for you. Now to finish it off, I decided to add a little bit of hot sauce. Now the funny thing is, I actually thought I was adding the medium hot sauce, and then my husband came in to taste it, and I realised I'd actually went for like the hottest one in the fridge, and apparently it's the hot sauce that everybody avoids in our house. I had no idea, but it was really like burning hot. It was really delicious though. I somehow managed to get through it. It's, I think it might actually be from the States. It's red hornet sauce. It's really, really spicy. It says lava heat on it, so you can imagine it was like the hottest sauce that was in my fridge, and I thought I was going for the mild one, but hey, my wee one never got this. She had a separate portion without hot sauce. So moving on to our chunky Cullen Skink, you're going to need these ingredients here. This is a family favourite of ours. My dad absolutely loves this recipe. He actually gave me the fish for this as well, fresh from a fishmonger in Aberdeen, and it was so delicious. I'll see if I can get the name of that place for you actually. So we're going to add all of our water in, and we're going to add in our smoked fish. So I don't like to use the dyed smoked fish, I just like the natural smoke. And we're going to pop that into the pan. So this is my second Cullen Skink recipe on this channel. I do actually have another one. I'll link it down below in the description box. It's a little bit thinner in texture than this one. This is probably my favourite way of having it. This is more like how my dad cooks it, and how you would find it locally as well. So we're just going to cook our fish. It takes about 10-15 minutes until it is nice and cooked, and we're just going to take that out. So you want to keep the water, so don't get rid of your water. You want to keep that for the flavour of the soup. That's why I like to use the undyed fish as well, because I don't want any artificial colours or anything in my soup, especially since we're using the stock to make the rest of the soup as well. So we're taking all of our haddock out there, and we're just going to leave that to cool. and we're just going to reuse our water. So whatever you do, don't drain the water away. You really want that flavour in the soup. And this is probably one of my favourite soups as well. It just reminds me of like my granda, and it's so delicious. So we're going to add all of our tatties into the water there, and we're going to add in our onions as well. And we're just going to cook those through until they are nice and soft. So our onions should be nice and soft, our tatties should be very well done. And we're just going to flake our fish here into chunky pieces. You can flake it into small pieces if you want to. And I just like to double check for bones. I know it did say boneless, but sometimes there's the odd one. And I just like to double check because I'm feeding it to wee Mary as well. It's not that I don't mind. It's not that I don't mind the older kids getting bones. It's just that they'll be able to manage them a little bit better than her. So I am really careful checking for bones here. But because this was a chunky version, I did kind of flake it, or break it up rather, into sort of bigger pieces that kind of held together. So you can kind of get an idea here of the size of the pieces. So you don't want to break it up too much. I mean, you can flake it right down to like small flakes if you want to. It really doesn't matter, but I like it chunky for this version. So our tatties are nice and well done, like so. I'm using my lovely Minnie Mouse spoon here. And we're just going to check that they're soft enough and then pop them back into the water. So again, you want to keep your water, don't get rid of it. It will have boiled down a little bit by now, and you won't have as much stock, but that's okay. Just make sure that you don't throw your water away because it has lots of the smoked flavour left. So we're going to put our cream into our soup here first, and then we are going to add just a little milk. Now this is how my dad likes it. This might not be how everyone makes it, but this is how we make it. And then I'm just going to mash the tatties down a little bit. So we still want a chunky texture, but we just want a little bit of mash as well, because it does help to create a nice texture in the soup. Just thickens it up a little bit too. So I'm just mashing lightly here. We still have a chunky tatty texture, but we have mashed probably about 50% of the tatties. So we're going to add in our haddock now, and we're just going to put that into our soup. So we're going to add all of that in there. So my family actually originate from up Lossiemouth way, and so this has been a family favourite going back generations. My granda loved it. I'm sure his dad probably, his mum and dad probably loved it as well, and even going further back, they probably I'd love to know actually how far back it was a family favourite. I'm not sure when it was created in up in Cullen way, but that's where it comes from, Cullen, up in Cullen on the coast, which is a beautiful place up there. So we're just going to add all of our haddock in there, give that a good stir through, and we're just going to heat our haddock up a little. Just adding a little bit of milk there just to thin it out. So you really don't need much milk at all. You don't need to use as much cream as I did. You could use a little bit less cream and use more milk rather than the cream. But I like it nice and creamy, so we like to use a lot of cream in our Cullen Skink. So we're adding salt and pepper in there just for the final flavouring. And my dad likes to add a bit of butter in his soup as well. I actually added a little bit of butter when I was serving it up, but that's actually because I forgot to add the butter in the pan of soup. Just add a maybe like a wee tablespoon or something into the soup, and it'll just sit on the top of the soup when you're serving it, and it just adds a nice sweet flavour to your soup. If you want to mash it down completely, you can, but this is a chunky version, so just go with the chunky version if you can. Now I'm serving up Mary a bowl in her Bunnykins bowl here. She loves this soup. She absolutely loves it. And here's mine here. Super delicious. So you can see all the lovely chunks of haddock in there, the tatties, and I've added a little bit of butter in here as well, and I've just added a wee bit of parsley on the top. So I hope you enjoyed both of these recipes. The Cullen Skink is definitely my favourite. I hope you enjoyed making both of these recipes. Let me know what your favourite was down below, or if you just made one, let me know how you got on with it. And don't forget to say hi, let me know where you're from. Love to chat with you all. And if you're over on Instagram as well, pop over and say hello, send me a message, let me know that you've popped over from YouTube. So my next video, I'm going to be sharing Scottish Church home bakes. So if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to click that subscribe button and the bell next to it, and I will see you guys again soon. I'm also going to be talking about meal planning in the future as well. So take care, lots of love, bye bye.